What's up everybody, this is Nick at barbend.com. Today we are doing a deep dive on one of my personal favorite areas of supplementation, meal replacements. Meal replacements are a very interesting area of supplementation because truthfully, it can be pretty hard to get in a meal every single time you need to eat, right? Like in our go-go world, it's actually not totally unreasonable that you would want to get your protein, carbohydrates, fat, calories in a shake form. And if it's part of a well-balanced diet and you're making sure that you're still getting plenty of whole foods and fruits and vegetables, it actually can be very advisable and indeed a pretty handy way to lose weight or gain weight if that's your goal. So today we're gonna be talking about a wide range of different types of meal replacements. We're gonna have the best for weight loss, the best for weight gain, even got the best meal replacement in a bar if that's what you're interested in. We're also going to be talking about the common ingredients you're going to find in meal replacements and different things you want to keep in mind if this is an avenue you're interested in going down. I think this is a really, really interesting subject, so let's dive in. Before I go on, I do need to make it clear I am not a doctor and this does not constitute medical advice. That's a pretty important disclaimer to get out there. If you are looking to make any dramatic changes or minor changes to your supplement regimen, nutrition regimen, or even exercise regimen, anything to do with your health, make sure you speak to a qualified medical professional who can speak to your own individual history, medications, preferences, and that kind of thing. With that out of the way, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek at our #1 pick for the best meal replacement shake because that's probably why you clicked on this video. The best meal replacement is right here. It is Kaged Clean Meal. What we like about this is that it's pretty high in protein, but it's not too low in carbohydrates. While it still is low enough in carbohydrates, it can probably work if you're managing your calories in that regard. So in a 3-scoop serving, getting 42 grams of protein, 27 grams of carbohydrates, and 7 grams of fat. Plus, this has a solid 24 micronutrients added into it, and some adaptogens as well. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit more detail later on. But for now, I want to answer probably the most common question we get about these supplements, which is, can I just replace my meals with meal replacement shakes? Is that how this works? The way we like to put it is that a good meal replacement should not replace every meal, but it can replace any meal. Because oftentimes, if you need a quick meal, it's gonna wind up being like a bagel and some cream cheese, right? And it's pretty indisputable from a micronutrient and macronutrient perspective that a meal replacement shake can be a better option. So provided that you're getting the macros and the micros that you're after, yeah, you just need to make sure you're also eating fruits and vegetables and whole foods throughout the day, because there are still plenty of areas of nutrition that aren't covered by just vitamins and minerals. Stuff like antioxidants and phytonutrients, the kind of stuff that you're gonna get in more whole plant-based foods. So, we're talking about Kaged Muscle's Clean Meal, and this has taken home 3 awards for us. We're really impressed with this product. So the reason why it won the best overall is that it has just a vast array of micronutrients, and also the macronutrient balance is pretty favorable too. So as mentioned, there are about 24 micronutrients here, that's vitamins and minerals. And in a 360 calorie serving, you're getting a solid 40% of the recommended daily intake of all of these vitamins and minerals, with the sole exception of potassium. Now, you're also going to be getting a good 3 grams of fiber for every 27 grams of carbohydrates, and also 7 grams of fat and 42 grams of protein. On top of that, there are a lot of natural ingredients in here, including like oat flour, organic quinoa, there's coconut oil, there's a fruit and vegetable extract blend as well. So technically, there's actual, literal, like powdered up broccoli, spinach, kale, and pumpkin and sweet potato in this, for perhaps an extra dose of antioxidants as well. And as I mentioned earlier, it's nice to have supplements that have some antioxidants too, so they're providing nutrition outside of just vitamins and minerals. Although that's all most people are looking for, and this is gonna satisfy those folks as well. So it really is a solid product. We also had this as the best meal replacement for protein, because again, it has a really nice balance between being very high in protein and being suitable for lower carb and lower fat diets, without being so low in carbohydrates that you're not really getting much energy or much fiber from the product. It really is a very good balance. And what's also interesting about this one is that in addition to being very high in protein, they use what's called IO whey, which is this unusual way of treating whey protein. It uses like an atmospheric plasma treatment to increase the surface area of the molecules. It's all very complicated, but they have done a bit of research on it that found that this type of whey protein has a higher bioavailability, which basically means that more of it absorbs. Which is funny because whey protein is already the most bioavailable protein on earth, but they've put some work into this to make even more of it absorb. That's a really nice extra touch there. And this is also third-party tested for banned substances and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to be confident with in this product. Finally, this is also our pick for the best meal replacement for weight loss, because on a per calorie basis, like protein per calorie and carbohydrates per calorie, it is a very favorable balance for someone who is looking to lose weight and keep their calories more controlled. So this is an easy way to get a good amount of protein and macronutrients in a weight loss plan. But also, if you're trying to gain muscle, there's plenty of protein here as well. So yeah, again, a great balance that makes it a good pick for a vast array of people. Next up, we might have said we're talking about meal replacement shakes a bit this time, but there's also a bar here that we consider to be a really good option if you need a meal replacement on the go. So what we like about Transparent Labs Uncut, which is what we named the best meal replacement bar, is that again, it's not just a protein bar. It has plenty of carbohydrates and fat as well. So this here has a good amount of calories, which again makes it a better meal replacement than something that is low calorie. 290 calories in a bar, and you're getting about, depending on the flavor, like 16 grams of protein, about 14 grams of fat, 23 grams of carbohydrates, and 3 grams of fiber. So that's a really, really solid balance. Like there's more protein than fat usually in these bars and more carbs than protein. That's a very normal way to balance your macronutrients regardless of what your goal is. And also, interestingly, the ingredients are all natural too. The majority of calories here are coming from roasted almonds and honey, and then whey protein isolate. And they've done a way to mix these up that it's a good amount of fat, it's very, very tasty, and they haven't added any artificial flavors or sweeteners to it. Very tasty, a good macro balance, enough calories to keep you full and give you energy, and nice and portable. Now, before I go any further, I know that I am like getting a lot of information out there, talking about antioxidants and macronutrients and everything. So if you'd rather take this information at your own pace, do a bit of your own reading, we actually made a written version of this article that you can Google, right? So if you just go to Google and write in Barben Best Meal Replacement Shakes, this article will come right up, and then you can, have a look at the products in a bit more detail, look at the label and the ingredients, look at some of the research that I've been citing as well, and then you can make the right decision for you. If you want to, give that a Google. But for now, let's move on to the next pick on the list. All right, next up, we have the best meal replacement shake for digestion. This is an interesting sort of subcategory in the realm of supplements. And for that one, we're going with this one right here, Health Code's Complete Meal. This is the chocolate macadamia flavor. They've also got a vanilla flavor. Now, when people ask what is a good digesting meal replacement shake or protein powder, usually the first thing they're after is digestive enzymes. Speak to your doctor, but a lot of the time, if you have lactase in there, that's gonna help you break down the lactose and make it easier to digest for folks who normally have a bit of trouble with it. So there is lactase in here, which is good because there's a lot of whey protein concentrate in it. But in addition to that digestive enzyme of lactase, there are 8 other digestive enzymes in here, which is the most I've seen in any supplement ever, and I know a lot about supplements. I've done a lot of these videos. I've never seen 9 digestive enzymes before. And there's a range of them, like lipase helps to break down fats more effectively. You got lipase in here. You have a variety of proteases in here. Proteases help you to break down protein more effectively. There's amylase, which helps to break down carbohydrates more effectively. And then a bunch more. And most of them fall into one of those 3 categories, but I mean, there are 3 macronutrients and there are enzymes to help you break down all of them. In addition to that, there's probiotic bacteria in here as well. And probiotic bacteria, there is plenty of evidence suggesting that having more of them and supplementing with probiotics can help to increase nutrient absorption and reduce digestive discomfort. Lastly, there's also inulin in here, which is a prebiotic fiber, and that feeds probiotic bacteria. So probiotics, and digestive enzymes, this product has it in spades. And if you're looking for a better digesting meal replacement shake, that's almost certainly answering your question that this is gonna fit the bill. On top of that, this is actually, if you can believe it, the best keto meal replacement and the best low carb meal replacement. Those are 2 separate things people search for. They both typically overlap, right? So by keto and by low carb, what we're saying is that this is very low in carbohydrates, and the split of calories per macronutrient, you're getting about 50% of your calories from the fats, and you're getting a low amount of calories from the carbohydrates, and there's plenty of protein here as well. So you're getting 27 grams of fat for 27 grams of protein. The carbohydrates are just 13 grams, and you're getting 9 grams of fiber here. So the net carbohydrates are just 4 grams per 400 calories, which is gonna make any keto or low carb person very, very happy. You're getting over 30% of the recommended intake of fiber, so that's gonna help to keep you feeling more full. It's gonna make it slow the digestion. It's gonna do a little bit more to blunt blood sugar spikes, all this kind of stuff that folks on the keto diet in particular, but also any low carb diet tend to like. And it's also made with fully natural ingredients, so no artificial sweeteners in here. The sweetness comes from stevia leaf and monk fruit extract. So this is very low in net carbohydrates, but very high in fiber and good amount of fat as well. So this is, in addition to being the best digesting protein shake, this is without a doubt the best protein shake for low carb diets and for keto diets as well. It's a really nice macronutrient split, and the fact that it's all natural should make folks even happier. So the best meal replacement shake for bulking is Transparent Labs Mass Gainer. In 2 scoops, in a 2-scoop serving, it's 750 calories, 53 grams of protein, 110 grams of carbohydrates, and 14 grams of fat. So this is gonna fit in very well to a bulking diet, which typically likes to keep supplements like this low in fat. The carbohydrates are a 1-to-2 ratio, so the macronutrient balance I really like. It's also all natural, which is pretty cool. And also the protein comes from grass-fed whey concentrate, which a lot of folks like because of the potential more beneficial fatty acid composition, and also just because, you know, the cows are more likely to be happy if they're grass-fed, right? Lastly, there's 6 grams of fiber per serving. So you're getting a solid, like over 20% of the recommended intake of fiber in every 750 calorie serving in here. And of course, you can also just take half a serving if you want to be a bit more conservative and just have this as a snack rather than a meal replacement powder. Transparent Labs, Mass Gainer, best meal replacement powder for bulking. Next up, we're talking about the best vegan meal replacement shake, which we're giving to Rootana. It's the best vegan meal replacement shake because it is fully vegan. It's also very high in protein per calorie as well. The product is like 20 to 25% protein by weight, and most of the protein comes from yellow peas, as well as oat flour and flaxseed as well. Because of that flaxseed, it has a really good amount of ALA, like omega-3 fatty acids. So in this meal replacement shake, you are getting plenty of protein, plenty of omega-3s, and there's also plenty of iron, B12, and calcium, which can be a little bit tricky sometimes to get on a vegan diet without supplementation, sometimes. So that's why it's our favorite meal replacement shake for vegans. But in addition to that, it's also the best vitamin-rich meal replacement shake overall. Because it's not just that it's got the classic B12, calcium, iron trifecta that a lot of plant-based folks tend to look for in these supplements. It also has about 20% of the recommended daily intake of 27 vitamins and minerals. So it's really high in just about anything that you need, including like chloride and selenium, which has interesting links to testosterone production, all these sorts of stuff. So it's a great macronutrient balance that just about anyone's gonna be happy with. There's plenty of fiber in there as well, naturally, because it's a plant-based product. And it has 27 vitamins and minerals. Most people, like, they'll be lucky if they get like 20 or 22 in a product like this. This really kind of maxes out all the vitamins and minerals that you're able to get here. So it's a really solid supplement. We would definitely recommend it for plant-based folks. And even if you're not, it's pretty tasty and a good way to get like a vast array of nutrients no matter what your diet normally is. Lastly, I want to talk about the meal replacement shake from 310. They've got a pretty interesting product here that we've named as the best for people with diabetes. Now, make sure you speak to a certified diabetes educator or your physician before making changes to your diet, especially if it is in the realm of diabetes. But what we've found is that folks with diabetes, they tend to prefer products that have a really solid amount of fiber, and also their doctors always recommend that they minimize cholesterol and saturated fat. So this product here, because it is actually plant-based, there's 0% cholesterol in this, and just 1 gram of saturated fat for 15 grams of protein and 2 grams of net carbs. So in just 110 calories, you are getting 18% of your recommended intake of fiber of 5 grams. So what that means is that the extra fiber in there, in addition to the protein, can help to minimize blood sugar spikes and help to slow digestion, which tends to be a priority for folks with diabetes. In addition to that, we named this as the best protein shake for the elderly. That's because, again, there's no cholesterol whatsoever, there's plenty of fiber, and there's very little saturated fat too, and all of these tends to be priorities in that age group. We would have liked more calcium, but there is 28% of the recommended intake of iron. And on top of that, this has a blend of greens, like sort of green superfood. So you got beetroot, spirulina, turmeric, and ginger root. And all of these ingredients, they have pretty interesting links to everything from antioxidant content to greater nitric oxide production, like vasodilation, which could potentially lower blood pressure. And turmeric and ginger root are pretty well known for their anti-inflammatory properties. So all this stuff tends to be priorities as well for folks in the older age brackets. So whether you are a person with diabetes or you are an elderly person or just simply looking for an interesting, tasty, and antioxidant-rich meal replacement shake, this is a really good place to start. So that about does it for our list of the best meal replacement supplements. One thing I didn't really touch on here is the cost of these products. This one here is $2 to $2.50 per meal of, that's 110 calories. On the other hand, when you get a product like this one here, Health Codes, this comes out at about $4 per meal. So there's a breadth of prices. I've seen more expensive meal replacements as well, but generally between $2 and $4 per meal is what you're gonna look at for a solid meal replacement. Generally, I would say shoot for between $2 and $4 per serving. But keep in mind how many calories you're planning to get in the meal replacement and also what other properties you're trying to get from it as well. So I hope in this video, what I don't want is to be just yelling at you and telling you exactly what you should be buying. Rather, I'm trying to empower you, the viewer, with the tools to make the right decision for yourself based on whichever needs you have and whichever category you're looking at, be it, vegan, digestion, weight loss, weight gain, and so on. So I hope I've done that in this video. Again, if you want to read the written version of this article, you can just Google it with Barben Best Meal Replacement Shakes and it'll come right up. And otherwise, thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next video.